Welcome to today's video, my friends. In this video, we are going to talk about a very interesting American coin, the 1 cent from 1985 with the D mint mark. This little copper-plated zinc coin was minted in Denver, and it carries a fascinating story not just as currency, but also as a collectible item for coin enthusiasts. The front of the coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which has been on the penny since 1909. On the reverse side, you will see the famous Lincoln Memorial, a design created by Frank Gasparo, which was used from 1959 all the way until 2008. Now, the 1985 D penny might look like an ordinary coin that many people used in everyday transactions, but its value today depends on condition, rarity, and collector demand. In circulated condition, most of these coins are only worth their face value of 1 cent, but if you happen to find one in uncirculated condition with sharp details, bright luster, and no scratches, it could be worth more to collectors, sometimes $1 or $2, and in some rare cases, even higher if it has unique mint errors. Errors such as off-center strikes, double die obverse, or planchet flaws can dramatically increase its value, making a coin worth hundreds of dollars. The 1985 D penny also tells a story about the U.S. mint's transition from the traditional 95% copper composition to the copper-plated zinc planchet that was introduced in 1982, so your 1985 D penny is made of zinc with just a thin copper coating. For collectors, this year is an important part of Lincoln cent history, and it is always exciting to check through your pocket change or old coin jars to see if you might have a hidden gem. So, whether you are a coin collector or just curious about the history behind everyday money, the 1985 D Lincoln cent is a wonderful and hidden secrets behind the 1995 D Lincoln penny from America. This coin, minted at the Denver Mint, is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series that began in 1909 and continues to this day. At first glance, it may appear like just an ordinary penny in your pocket change, but the truth is that every coin has a story, and the 1995 D cent is no exception. Minted in the millions, these coins feature the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the word Liberty to his left and the motto, In God We Trust, above his head. On the reverse, we see the iconic Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, which was used from 1959 until 2008. While the coin itself is common, condition and mint errors make all the difference in value. Now, when we talk about the value of the 1995 D penny, most circulated examples are worth just 1 cent, and even in average uncirculated condition, they may sell for around 10 to 50 cents. However, the real excitement begins when collectors discover coins with high grades given by professional grading services, such as MS 66 or MS 67 red. At these top levels, the 1995 D penny can jump in value significantly, sometimes bringing in $50 to $200 or more at auctions. The shine, luster, and lack of scratches make these high-grade coins rare and desirable. Errors are another factor that makes this coin interesting. Some pennies from this year come with striking mistakes, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or even doubling, which can greatly increase the value depending on rarity and demand. Always remember, even a small error on a coin can turn an ordinary cent into a valuable collectible. Another fascinating aspect is the comparison between the 1995 Philadelphia penny and the 1995 Denver penny. The Philadelphia Mint version is famous for the double die obverse variety, where the letters Liberty and In God We Trust show strong doubling. That variety can be worth hundreds of dollars. Unfortunately, the Denver Mint coins, like the 1995 D, did not produce that famous double die, but Denver coins in pristine condition are still highly collectible. The mint mark D under the date shows it was made in Denver, and for many collectors who aim to complete a full set of Lincoln cents, this coin remains an essential piece. From a historical perspective, coins like the 1995 D penny remind us that even in modern times, the smallest denomination carries a piece of American heritage. Every coin that passes through our hands has been part of millions of daily transactions, from buying a piece of candy to paying exact change at the store. While many people overlook pennies, coin collectors see them as treasures waiting to be discovered. Holding a bright red uncirculated 1995 D penny is like holding a fresh piece of history straight from the mint. So, if you have some old pennies tucked away in jars or coin rolls, take a closer look at the dates and mint marks. Who knows? Maybe you'll find a 1995 D penny in exceptional condition, or even stumble upon an unusual error that makes your coin stand out. Collecting coins isn't just about money, it's about preserving history, learning stories behind each design, and appreciating the small details most people never notice. 1-cent coin from America, also known as the Lincoln penny. At first glance, this coin might look like an ordinary piece of change, but if you are a true coin enthusiast or collector, you already know that every coin tells a story and sometimes hides a surprising value. So, let's take a closer look at the details, the design, the history, and of course, the value of this fascinating 2005 penny. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation for over 100 years, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. By 2005, the U.S. Mint continued the same classic design, with Lincoln's portrait on the obverse side. The obverse shows the profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right, the word liberty on the left, the motto "In God We Trust" on the top, and the year 2005 with a D mint mark right below it, representing the Denver Mint where this coin was struck. On the reverse, we have the familiar Lincoln Memorial, which had been featured on pennies since 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. If you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial. The reverse also includes the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent. This reverse design was used until 2008, before being replaced by the Union Shield in 2010. Now, let's talk about composition. The 2005 penny is made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating. This has been the standard composition since 1982, weighing 2.5 grams and measuring 19 millimeters in diameter. While it is not made of precious metals, the true value of this coin often comes from its rarity, errors, and collector demand. In terms of value, most 2005 pennies that you find in circulation are worth just 1 cent. However, in uncirculated condition, or if the coin has a high mint state grade such as MS65 or above, collectors are willing to pay a premium. On average, a beautiful uncirculated 2005 penny can sell for anywhere between $1 to $10. But the real treasures are the rare error coins. Some known errors from 2005 pennies include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, or coins struck on defective planchets. These can be worth anywhere from $50 to several $100s, depending on the severity and rarity of the error. For example, a perfectly preserved 2005 Lincoln cent graded MS67 red by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC has been known to sell for over $200 at auction. This shows how even a modern penny can carry surprising value if it is rare in quality. So, the next time you find a 2005 penny in your pocket change, don't ignore it. Check carefully for its condition and possible mint errors. Who knows? You might be holding a small piece of American history that could be worth far more than a cent. To sum up, the 2005 1 cent from America is not just an ordinary coin. It's part of the long tradition of Lincoln cents that honor one of the greatest U.S. presidents. While most are only face value, uncirculated and error coins can be highly collectible and valuable.
And in this episode, we are going to explore the 1998 1 cent coin, better known as the Lincoln penny from Denver Mint. At first glance, this coin may look like an ordinary penny that most people would simply spend without a second thought. But collectors know that every year, mint mark, and condition can make a huge difference in value. The obverse of this coin features the iconic bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which has been used on a penny since 1909, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. On the reverse, you will find the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which was introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. And if you look closely at some coins, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial. Now, when it comes to the 1998 penny, the D mint mark indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, and this year produced millions of these coins. So in circulated condition, most of them are worth just 1 cent. However, the story becomes far more exciting when we start talking about uncirculated grades, errors, and varieties. In brilliant uncirculated or mint state condition, especially MS65 and higher, the value can jump to a few dollars, while superb gem examples in MS67 can reach $50 or more at auctions. What really excites collectors are the rare error coins, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or coins with unusual plating issues. And some of these have sold for hundreds of dollars depending on rarity and demand. Another interesting fact is that 1998 was part of a transition period leading up to year 2000, when the U.S. Mint introduced the 50 state quarters program. So collectors often pay special attention to coins from the late 1990s. If you have a 1998 penny, It's worth checking carefully with a magnifying glass to see if there are doubling effects on the lettering, date, or memorial details, as even minor doubling can significantly increase the value. Most circulated examples will be common pocket change, but finding one in pristine condition or with a unique error can make your coin much more desirable to collectors. Always remember that coin grading plays a crucial role, and having your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC can help establish its market value if you think you have a high grade or rare variety. So, the next time you come across a 1998 D penny, don't just toss it aside. It could be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Thank you for joining me in today's detailed look at this fascinating Lincoln cent. And if you enjoyed learning about this coin, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more coin value videos coming your way.